fun. It's like a little mystery. Ooh, let's look at these. Okay. Pretty, pretty. All right, here we have a dark pearl necklace. These are great. Okay, so here we have a variety of pearls. They are strung on black thread. The black thread is tied to a lobster clasp, and looks like it's in silver. It looks like Mary's mother-in-law enjoyed these because you can tell she's worn them. The silk has stretched out. You see how I can move the, I don't know if I've got a good background where you can see that these pearls are loose on this thread. To be honest with you, they may have been strung on a thread gauge just a little too small because they did stretch out fairly easily. Now, what I want to say about these pearls. So this is so fun. So my background is I originally started working solely in China. So China is the largest producer of pearls in the whole entire world. And that's where I started, is traveling to China, importing pearls from China, meeting, suppliers in China, eventually meeting at pearl farms in China, all of that. So I did that for quite a few years before I ventured out in the world. So in China, there are Chinese freshwater pearls, and they typically are white is the most predominant color, and their mollusk also can produce pink pearls naturally, mauve pearls, peachy pearls. It's around that same sort of peachy, pink, white tone. So that is going to be the extent of the pearls that you find coming out of China, unless they've been dyed. If you saw the first video I did for Mary, it was gray pearls. So those had been dyed. That's not a natural color for freshwater pearls, at least for these freshwater pearls coming out of China. So when I first traveled to French Polynesia, which was about the third or fourth pearl farm I went to French Polynesia to see the Tahitian black pearls. And I was shocked. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. These colors are very similar to dyed colors, right? So it really kind of opened my mind to, up until that point, I'd only seen dye in person, actually, well, I say in person. I mean, of course I'd been to suppliers, but like boots on the ground, like in person, right? So I had only seen these dyed freshwater pearls. And when you put a dark dye on pearls, because of the layers of colors, so when you really look at pearls, they're not just white, right? They have overtones and undertones, and they can be pink, green, and you've got to think within the scope of white, right? So they're white. Yeah, they're white, but they may reflect a little pinkish. Do you know what I'm saying? Or they, it's weird to see that little green overtone in pearls because you're like, they're white pearls, but it's like you see layers of color. There is depth to the color of pearls. And I'll tell you right now, if you've ever tried to photograph pearls, you'll know what I'm talking about, because those colors come out. It just, unless you change the coloring and make it a flat tone white, there's a lot of reflective qualities and there's a lot of like layers of colors, even though the base layer is the same. There's undertones and overtones. I tell you that because when you dye pearls, that becomes very apparent. If I put the same color dye on pearls, they don't all come out really necessarily looking the same, right? So it'll kind of depend on how that dye interacts with those, shades of the actual pearl, if that makes sense. So all of that to say is this necklace is very representative of the color of Tahitian pearls. So this was the sort of necklace that I was like, first thought that went through my head, could these be Tahitian? So that's why I had to get on my 46-year-old glasses and take a better look. Now, how are you gonna know if a pearl is naturally that color or dyed? Okay, that's a really good question. They say, those people in authority that know these things say, you see a concentration of dye near the drill hole. This is because typically pearls are drilled and then dyed. So they actually drill them first before they dye them. So sometimes that will collect in the drill hole. I also think that sometimes over time, any dyed pearls, they can fade. In fact, my first shop, I had a little showroom right in front of this window that got a lot of sun, and I had this just cute little fashion necklace that had a cluster of multicolored pearls, and I saw over time that had the sun had faded that colored pearl. Now here's the interesting thing. I've also been off to island pearl farms and seen the same thing in natural colored pearls, where men love it, men wearing pearls, but men have worn necklaces every day in the ocean, every day out in the sun, and their pearl color starts to fade as well. And that's still a natural color, but that'll fade. Anyway, so what I do is I look close up to the drill hole. It doesn't really have a concentration of color. In fact, I think these are really, really beautiful. I really like these. I really like this necklace a whole bunch, but I will tell you, these are dyed freshwater pearls. This can be representative of some of those colors we see coming out of French Polynesia, like a Tahitian black pearl, but these I can tell are a dyed freshwater pearl. But again, my recommendation for this kind of necklace would be, obviously, Mary's mother-in-law loved these pearls. It's clear that this necklace has been worn, but it also has stood up really well. So I think it's in great shape. I would recommend getting this re-knotted, put a prettier clasp on it. You may have listened to my last video, which when I told you this thread has been tied directly to the metal clasp, which will eventually wear down and break. You really don't ever want to tie thread directly to metal. So that will eventually break. But I think this is just a lovely, lovely necklace. Again, you're not looking at a super high value necklace, but a really cute blend of colors, a really beautiful necklace. I think this is a great little fashionable piece.